Italy. It's a name that echoes through history, a land of art, empire, culture, and civilization. From the soaring arches of the Roman Colosseum to the artistic genius of Renaissance Florence, Italy has shaped our world in countless ways. But have you ever paused to ask a simple question? Why is Italy called Italy? Was this name created by the Romans? Did it come from Latin? Or does its story stretch back even further into a forgotten ancient world? Today, we're going on a journey to uncover the complete, fascinating history behind the name Italy. Our story begins long before Rome existed. Before emperors, senators, and legions marched across the continent, the Italian peninsula was a mosaic of diverse and independent tribes. There was no single national identity, no concept of an Italian people. The land was divided among groups like the Latins, the Etruscans, the Sabines, and the Oscans. Each had its own unique culture, language, and spiritual beliefs. They were neighbors, sometimes rivals, but never a unified nation. Yet, hidden among these groups was one small, unassuming tribe that would unknowingly give its name to an entire civilization. Deep in the sun-drenched landscapes of southern Italy, in the region we now know as Calabria, lived an ancient tribe known as the Italoi. Compared to their more powerful neighbors, they were a simple people, farmers and herders, whose lives were deeply connected to the rhythm of the seasons and the land they worked. They weren't conquerors or empire builders. Their world revolved around their communities and their livestock. For the Italoi, one animal held a special sacred significance: cattle, and particularly the young calf. In their culture, the calf was a powerful symbol. It represented life, vitality, strength, and the promise of prosperity. The health of their herds was the health of their tribe. It was this deep reverence for the calf that would set in motion a chain of events spanning millennia. As neighboring peoples and traders came into contact with the Italoi, they began to associate the tribe with their most cherished symbol. They started referring to the Italoi as territory as Italia, a name that roughly translates to the land of the calves or land of the young bull. At this point in history, Italia didn't refer to the whole country we know today. It was just a small, specific region in the southernmost tip of the peninsula, the home of a tribe devoted to its cattle. But history was about to change that forever. Around the 8th century BCE, a new power arrived on the shores of southern Italy. The ancient Greeks, master sailors and ambitious colonizers, began establishing settlements all along the coastline. This new Greek world was so vibrant and successful that they called it Magna Graecia, meaning Greater Greece. As these Greek colonists explored their new home, they encountered the native tribes, including the Italoi. They learned of the name for the region, and, being skilled cartographers and historians, they adopted it. The Greeks started using the term Italia to describe this southern land on their maps and in their writings. Through the extensive network of Greek trade and intellectual exchange, the name Italia began to spread across the ancient Mediterranean world. This was a pivotal moment, the first time the name of a small, local tribe entered the permanent record of history. For centuries, however, it remained a name for just the south. A far more powerful force was needed to carry it north. And then came Rome. What began as a humble city-state on the banks of the Tiber River would grow, through relentless determination and military genius, into the most dominant empire the ancient world had ever seen. As Rome's legions marched out to conquer neighboring lands, they didn't just absorb territory. They absorbed cultures, languages, and names. When the Romans expanded southward, they encountered the Greek term Italia. They adopted it, but as their power grew, so did the meaning of the name. With each new conquest on the peninsula, the borders of what the Romans called Italia expanded. First, it covered the south, then central Italy, and eventually, the name was applied to the entire landmass all the way to the mighty Alps in the north. By the height of the Roman Empire, Italia was no longer just a geographical label. It was a declaration of identity. For the Romans, Italia was the heart of the empire, the motherland, the sacred core from which all power and civilization flowed. Its people were Roman citizens, and its soil was considered home. Under Roman rule, Italia was granted a special privileged status. It was the administrative center of a global empire. Its inhabitants were generally exempt from the provincial taxes imposed on conquered territories. It was protected by Roman law and enriched by Roman engineering, with iconic roads, aqueducts, and cities flourishing across the landscape. The name Italia became official, powerful, and seemingly permanent. But as we know, all empires must fall. After centuries of dominance, the Western Roman Empire eventually collapsed under the weight of internal decay and external pressures. Cities burned, legions scattered, and the political unity of Italia shattered. Yet, even as empires rose and fell, the name survived. In the centuries that followed Rome's fall, the Italian peninsula was once again a fractured land. It was divided into competing kingdoms, powerful city-states like Florence and Venice, and territories controlled by foreign powers. There was no single country called Italy. A person would have identified as a Florentine, a Venetian, or a Roman, but not an Italian in a national sense. Despite this political fragmentation, the idea of Italia was kept alive. Scholars, poets like Dante, and historians continue to use the ancient name in their works. They wrote in a language that was evolving from Latin into the modern Italian tongue, creating a shared literary heritage. The name Italia became a vessel for a common identity, even when no common government existed. This sense of a shared past exploded during the Renaissance. Beginning in the 14th century, Italian thinkers, artists, and patrons looked back with immense pride at their Roman heritage. They revived classical art, philosophy, and science. In doing so, they also revived the idea of Italy as a singular cultural entity. The name became a powerful symbol of a shared culture, a common language, and a glorious history, binding the people of the peninsula together in spirit, if not in law. This cultural unity eventually ignited a political fire. After centuries of division and foreign domination, a powerful nationalist movement known as the Risorgimento, or the Resurgence, swept across the peninsula in the 19th century. Revolutionaries and statesmen fought to finally unite the disparate states into one nation. In 1861, their dream became a reality. The Italian peninsula was finally unified into a single country. When it came time to choose a name for this new nation, there was only one choice. They proudly adopted the ancient name that had endured for over 2,500 years, Italy. It was a name born from a small ancient tribe and their sacred calves. It was adopted and spread by the Greeks, empowered and expanded by the Romans, and lovingly preserved through the centuries by poets and thinkers. Today, when we see the Italian flag, visit its historic landmarks, or enjoy its world-renowned culture, we are connecting to that incredible story. Italy's name is more than just a word on a map. It's a journey through time, a testament to how the smallest stories, from the most humble of beginnings, can grow to define a global civilization. This is the true, hidden history of the name Italy. Thank you so much for joining us on this historical journey. If you enjoyed learning about the origins of Italy, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories hidden in history. We'll see you next time.